Hi everybody, welcome to our section 2.5 lecture video on solving equations that have several steps. So just to recap, when you're solving an equation, your goal, what you're trying to accomplish, is to get the variable equal to a number that makes the equation true. So the solution to an equation is that number that makes the equation true. It's this number right here. Okay, and in the past couple sections we talked about our two tools that we have. We have the addition property of equality, which says that you can add or subtract the same thing from both sides of the equation. We have the multiplication property of equality that says that you can multiply or divide the same thing on both sides of the equation. But these ones that we're going to have today, you're going to probably use both of those properties to actually solve them. So if you're confused on what to do first, the first thing I would recommend doing is simplifying both sides if you can. Okay, sometimes they're already simplified, sometimes you don't need to, but if you can simplify them and if they need to be simplified, go ahead and do that first. Then the next thing you're going to do is just use that addition property of equality and the multiplication property of equality to isolate your variable. So the addition property of equality and the multiplication property of equality to isolate your variable. You're just trying to get it by itself. And lastly, especially if you've got some extra time, go ahead and check your answer by substituting your answer back in and just make sure that the right side actually equals the left side. We're going to do a lot of examples, and hopefully they help clear some things up and set you guys in a good direction. My first one I have in example A says negative 12 equals negative 3 times parentheses 45 minus p. So I can simplify a little bit. On the right side I can distribute. So I can do negative 3 times 45, which would be negative 135. I can do negative 3 times negative p, which would be a plus 3p. My left side is already simplified as much as I can, and it's equal to negative 12. Then I'm trying to get the p by itself. So the thing is, you want to get rid of the 3, and we want to get rid of that 135. The easier thing is probably to get rid of addition subtraction first, because if I divide by 3 first, you have to divide everything by 3. You'd have to divide the 3p, the 135, and the 12 by 3. So I tend to save that for last. So if I want to get rid of the 135 first, it's added, so I'm subtracting, and I'm subtracting negative 135. So subtracting a negative is the same thing as plus a positive. So I'm actually going to add 135 to both sides to get rid of it. Negative 135 plus 135 is 0. Those cancel out. On the left side, negative 12 plus 135 is the same thing as 135 minus 12, which is 123. On the right side, that'll equal 3p. Then to get rid of the 3, it's multiplied, so I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. So then I'm going to do 123 divided by 3, which is 41, and I'll have 41 equals 1p, which is just p. If you'd like to check your answer, you just substitute it back in. So I'll have negative 12 equals negative 3 times 45 minus p, which we think is 41. With order of operations on this right side, I should do parentheses first. So 45 minus 41 is 4. So now I've got negative 12 equals negative 3 times 4. And negative 3 times 4 equals negative 12. So now I've got negative 12 equals negative 12, which is true. So we did a great job. P really does equal 41. In the next one, in part B, I've got 8 plus 4b equals 2b plus 2. And the first thing I notice is that my variables are in different spots. I have 4b on the left and 2b on the right. So I'm going to try to get my variables together first. So if I want to bring the 2b over, it's added to the 2. So the opposite of adding would be subtracting. And whatever you do to one side, remember to do to both sides. So 2b minus 2 is 0. It'll get rid of the b's on the right side. We'll just be left with a 2 over there. On the left side, 4b minus 2b is 2b. So I'll have 8 plus 2b on the left side. Then I'm trying to get b by itself. So let's say that I want to get rid of the 8. It's added. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. 8 minus 8 is 0, so now we'll be left with 2b on the left side. 2 minus 8 is negative 6 on the right side. Last but not least, I want to get rid of that 2. So I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides to get rid of it. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So now I have 1b equals negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So I have b equals negative 3, which would be my answer. To check it, I can substitute it back in. On the left side, I have 8 plus 4 times negative 3. On the right side, I'll have 2 times negative 3 plus 2. So on the left side, I'll do multiplication before I do addition. So 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, so I'll have 8 plus negative 12. And 8 plus negative 12 is negative 4. On the right side, I will also do multiplication before addition. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, so now I have negative 6 plus 2. And negative 6 plus 2 is also negative 4. That's a true statement. We did great. So B really is negative 3. Alright, let's do another example. In part C, I've got 2, parentheses, 5x minus 3 equals 11x. I'm going to distribute first. So I'll have 2 times 5x, which is 10x, minus, I'll have 2 times 3, which is 6, and this equals 11x. Next thing is, let's get the x's together. So I'd like to bring my 10x over. And I know this is a minus. This is the same thing as a plus and negative 6 if it helps you at all. So it's really added to the negative 6. So if I want to get rid of the 10x, it is positive. So I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides. 10x minus 10x is 0. And 0 minus 6 is negative 6. On the right side, 11x minus 10x is 1x. So I'm actually done. I have x equals negative 6, and that's my answer. And if you want to check it, we'd have 2 times, it would be 5 times negative 6, minus 3 in our parentheses. And we're going to see if it equals 11 times negative 6 on the other side. So inside our parentheses, I have 5 times negative 6, which would be negative 30. And negative 30 minus 3 would be negative 33. So I have 2 times negative 33, which would be negative 66 on the left side. On the right side, I have 11 times negative 6, which is also negative 66. So that is true. We did great. All right, last one is in part D. We have 3 times y plus 2 minus 5y plus 1 equals 15. So we have a lot of simplifying that we can do on the left side. So I can distribute first, so that would be 3y plus 6, and then I'm going to bring the rest down. There'll be a minus 5y, a plus 1 equals 15. Then I can combine like terms. 3y minus 5y is negative 2y. 6 plus 1 is positive 7. Okay. Then I need to get my y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides to get rid of the 7. 7 minus 7 is 0. So now I have negative 2y equals, and then on the right side, 15 minus 7 is 8. Then to get the y by itself, all I need to do is get rid of the negative 2. It's multiplied, so I'm going to divide by negative 2 on both sides to get y equals negative 4. And we're done. If you'd like to check it, you're welcome to do so. We'd have 3 times y plus 2, so that would be negative 4 plus 2, minus 5y, so minus 5 times negative 4, plus 1, and we're going to see does it actually equal 15. So over here, I would do parentheses first. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. So now I've got 3 times negative 2, minus 5 times negative 4, plus 1. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Negative 5 times negative 4 is positive 20, so we're going to have a plus 20, and then a plus 1. Then negative 6 plus 20 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15, and 15 equals 15. So it checks out. We did great. So hopefully this helps. I'm going to post some extra practice on Canvas for you guys to work on. If you have any questions all along the way, please let me know. Hope you guys have a wonderful week.